Okay, no, 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 no. Are you telling me that that's the ending? Well, I've got a lot to say, both good and bad. So the storyline follows Kalu, played by Frederick Leonard, a prince who returns to his community for his father's burial. Upon the last wishes of his late father, the king, Prince Kalu must remain in the community to inherit the throne and rule over his people. And at that, he must pick a wife from his clan, so the tradition demands. This is where Mbechi, played by Onyii Alex, comes in, the maiden chosen to be his bride. Now, will things work out? So Throne to Love is currently showing on Onyii Alex TV on YouTube. Now, first things first, when I saw the poster of this movie, I was scanning it with my eyes. It was looking good. Till I got to the lower part of the poster and I burst into laughter. And that was because of Onyii Alex's posture on the throne. Like, that really cracked me up. What was she doing there? Now, I love the fact that this movie came with this epic kind of feel, and the soundtracks, that is the special score, played a pivotal role in evoking the emotional feel for this movie. Now, I would have given a shout out to the person who composed the music, but the font size of the words written in the end credits were very tiny. Like, I couldn't even read anything from there. It would take a miracle to read what was written there. But nevertheless, the BGM, that is the background music, played a pivotal role in complementing the movie a lot. Now, for the performances, I have a lot to say, especially when it comes to Frederick Leonard's character, Prince Carlo. I have a lot to say about his character. A lot. But I'll get to his part soon. Let me start with Onyii Alex's performance. Now, Onyii Alex gave a stellar performance here as usual. And she knows how to portray that facial expression of someone that's going through pain and suffering that makes you want to pity her. Or in this case, it makes you feel the pain that her character was passing through. Her performance here was praiseworthy as usual. Hats off to her. So the movie also paves way for a little bit of comic scenes between Frederick Leonard and Onyii Alex, just like the scene displaying right here. Most of their scenes will crack you up, especially the dialogues. So this is the part where I talk about Frederick Leonard's character. Now, quick heads up. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it first and then come back to complete this review, because what I'm about to say here might come with some spoilers. So spoiler alert. Okay, for the end part of the movie, if that was the ending, no, 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 you can't tell me that that was it. Are you serious? Was that the ending? If that was the ending, then we definitely need a part two to this movie. Now, though the narrative was somewhat predictable, but there was a plot twist that I didn't see coming at all. And that was the scene where Prince Carlo annulled his marriage with Mbechi. Okay, one minute we see that they are beginning to get along. The next minute he annuls his marriage in the name of he wasn't in love with her. Okay, saying that he wasn't in love with her, he had to divorce her. That was okay. But what annoyed me the most was that since he knew he was never going to fall in love with her and he was eventually going to end the marriage, why on earth did you have to get intimate with her? And please don't use you were drunk as an excuse. You knew you were going to end the marriage. Why did you get intimate with her? Why? If you ask me, out of respect as a gentleman, he shouldn't have touched her since he knew he was going to end their marriage sooner or later. But he did. And to make it worse, he didn't even bother to see her off when she was leaving the palace. If you ask me, he led her on, making her think that he was starting to fall in love with her. Now, this movie had better have a part two to it because if this was the ending, it's messed up. It should have been titled Throne to Heartbreak, not Throne to Love. But nevertheless, I love the fact that the movie managed to touch most of these absurd traditions that most clans have. At least one good thing that Prince Carlo did was abolishing most of those ridiculous traditions. But for breaking that lady's heart, you should be punished. Yeah, you should. Now for the costumes, well, the costumes were really looking nice, especially that of Frederick Leonard. And Onyii Alex looked really lovely in her costumes. Then in the support roles, we have Paul Udensi and Ada Uli. Now, Ada Uli playing the character of Ogechi, she enacted her role really well. And most of her scenes with Paul really cracked me up. She gave a stellar performance for a support role. Then as for Paul Udensi, if you ask me, I honestly felt that he should have been given the role of the Onowu. He should have played that role instead of the man who played the role. Because Paul Udensi had the mannerisms and demeanor for that sort of role. But for the man who played the character of the Onowu, for me, he honestly spoke like someone that was reading from a script. It didn't feel natural at all. I think Paul Udensi would have been better to play that kind of role. And what cracked me up was the grammar Paul was just speaking in this movie. Like, I honestly got tired of searching for the meaning of what he was saying because anytime he opened his mouth, I become lost. Like, he tried to use grammar to maneuver his way into getting what he wants. Now, for the other elders in council, well, most of them, it felt like they were novice when it comes to acting. They felt like newbies to me, most of them. And I don't know if anyone noticed the way they were holding their hand fans, otherwise called the akupe in our native dialect. The way they were holding their hand fans to fan themselves. If you notice, it was a little bit too much. It wasn't like that of someone with high status. They were fanning themselves as if there was too much heat, and there was something awkward about the way they used their hand fans as a pointing tool while talking. It looked awkward. Then, when it comes to the authenticity, well, their king just passed. He was late, and there was not even one photo of him. There was no picture of their late king, nothing at all. And for a movie that depicts royalty, well, the servants in that huge palace were few. If I'm not wrong, there were a total of 6 servants. And you know those two guards that normally stand beside the king to fan him gently when he's sitting on the throne? They were nowhere to be seen. Like, everything about the palace felt kind of surface level. Well, aside the decor, because the interior was really looking nice. Now, there was no sense of atmosphere at all. Now, the prince recently came back from abroad, and supposedly he had a coronation and a marriage ceremony that we didn't see at all. And the people who he was supposedly ruling over were nowhere to be seen. It's like there was no sense of atmosphere. There should have been some scenes about the people of the community saying one or two things, but they were nowhere to be seen. And the movie also limited itself to just two settings. One was the palace, and the other was Chief Ude's house, to and fro. The sense of atmosphere was lacking. Like, there were no background extras at all. So, to wrap it all up, I'll be giving this movie a 3 out of 5 thumbs up. If you've seen the movie, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time on my review. Bye.